Sylvie's just her Zoom is updating at the moment, so she's waiting for that.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Charles.
It is our time, and let's do initial prayer. Master Jesus, another Saturday, together around Kardac's teachings, bringing us the knowledge we need to understand ourselves, our mediumship, and to be prepared to help spirits that may come in our way, incarnated and discarnated. Be with us through this humble study, today, tomorrow, and always. So be it.
So be it.
Amen. Amen.
All right, so let me share the book with you guys.
Bom dia. Good morning. Sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a difficulty to always to share only the book.
She just messaged saying she hasn't got enough disk space for the Zoom update, so she'll join us next week, sadly. That's funny, I had a feeling she'd have a Zoom problem. I hope I didn't make
Can you guys see the book?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All right, great. Good stuff. So let's start. Last weekend, we have finished the item 323, and we have spoken about frauds and things like that, all right? So today we are starting the chapter 29, meetings and societies, meetings in general. Spiritist meetings can offer big advantage because they foster enlightenment through the exchange of ideas and through questions and observations raised by anyone. So my first stop here will be here. Questions and observations. And that's why I always encourage people to participate of our studies. If we were in a school or university, if we were only listening to what the teacher were speaking, we would absorb part of it. If we were participating actively in the class, you would get a bit more. But there's one thing that completes a normal class, is the labs. That's why on the schools, that's why on the universities, we have laboratories. Because then we have the theory and the practice to really consolidate our knowledge. So I truly encourage everyone to do those steps because it's very important. And another point he says here, questions, observations can be raised by anyone. A common mistake that happens with the human beings is that we believe we know better than everyone else. And if we're speaking about professional environments, sometimes we are not even prepared to contemplate other ideas because we are the one making the call. We are the one that know better. But in my professional career and also in the Spiritism, I really like to hear anyone. Why is that? Because a different pair of eyes may have a totally different perception. Can be something naive? Yes, can be something naive. Can be something that completely out of the subject, can be. But sometimes a little thing that comes from a person that is there on the first day can help professionally to drive a decision, and on the spiritism to open a new perception for the group. So I truly encourage anyone to share their thoughts, questions, and else, and from which everyone may benefit. It would be erroneous to treat such meetings as ordinary gatherings. However, for desirable results require special conditions, which we will now examine. What he's saying is not to be treated as an ordinary gathering. Does anyone have any idea? Why not?
Well, the spirit meetings, it's a place for learning, for developing the moral concepts, and kind of, I think, learn a lot from the spirit. So it's not an ordinary. You have to take serious because you have to study. You cannot just go there and then go back home and forget about that. It's your commitment to study the doctrine and question it, observe and learn and share what you learn.
I think it's because we are never alone, right? The others also can help you with us. The studies also can help others.
That's right. That's right.
It's
So,
also because of disincarnated spirits, which is something that you wouldn't get in a normal meeting.
you would have spirits possibly anywhere, as far as they want to be. On the spiritist gatherings, as the objective is to study things related to the spiritism, that would attract people in need of that kind of knowledge, right? But don't believe there are no spirits on another type of meeting. Will be. We are surrounded by spirits 24/7. Sometimes more than we think.
Yes. Yeah. What I'm referring to is I've taken what you just said literally, meaning if there's a meeting and you have people at the meeting that you can see, then people accept that. But if we're talking about spiritist meetings, well, we accept that there's people that we may not be able to see, we may feel, we may have a sense of that they're there, and we accept that. But if people in other meetings who don't believe in spiritism, they wouldn't accept that necessarily.
Correct. Meetings are ordinary gatherings. However, for desirable results, require special conditions are required. Those special conditions, we've spoken about that several times, and we will see through the study today what Kardec will remind us about special conditions. And the main conditions is our preparation. We have to be prepared. Of course, depending on the type of meeting. We're not going to be prepared for something that we're not going to be doing, but we should be prepared for a meeting. Likewise, professionally, if you go to a meeting and we are not prepared, we can be embarrassed, right? So the meeting here is the same. Meetings comprise two collective wholes. Therefore, the instructions given up to this point regarding single individuals also apply to groups, which means that groups should take the same precautions and guard against the same problems that applies to individual. This is very important. Guard against the problems that apply to individuals. I'm not sure if I'll be giving any spoil here, but anyway, we spiritists, we always focus on human beings, always focus on the complicated part of the life, right? And if we see someone with a bit of trouble, we are very quick to judge and to say that, whoa, this person is being obsessed. He's in the obsession process with this person. But sometimes we are very reluctant to see the same indications when we are involved. For example, we are here. I don't know how many people we are here today, but let's say we have 10 people here. This is our group. And then I'm very quick to judge that, well, a person has been part of obsession case, right? But in reality, it's not the person only. Perhaps the whole group is part of what's going on. Then we need to be careful. But as I like to say, and I repeat very often, do not jump too quickly into conclusions. Do not make up your mind saying it is an obsession. It is this, it is that. Don't do this, because you may be doing a mistake with consequences for yourself and for the person that you are judging. But now I see two hands. Hi, Osoli.
The, I think a word I think about is moral, because so of course knowledge meant about what I do, what I am doing there, and what I expect that. And a moral, if I don't have a good moral, it's very difficult. Then, Brisson, you said, embarrassing for me, for all, for environment, for all, for everything, everybody. Why moral? Moral because of how much we study and know more about one mediums meeting better for us, because we never forget to have many kind of people there, kind, I mean a personality, because we are there, but the spirit come, they come that who then are. So very important. We have a good moral, that we have our instructor, so we hear. I don't know, because it's not
Okay,
with me,
let
but
me jump on this
it's
one.
happened.
Let me jump on this one. Thank you, Osoli. Another common thing that spiritists like very much to speak about it is the moral elevation of the person. We also need to be very careful about it. None of us here are a very good example of moral, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Nee, exactly.
And at the Spiritist Center is not for the people that are elevated. It's for the people that are sick. And as such, we do expect people with moral that needs to be improved to be part of the Spiritist gatherings, to be part of the Spiritist groups, okay? So I just need to make that clear. So, hi, Camila.
I would like to make a question about the obsession thing, because it's not everybody in some way obsessed, because I think everybody has like he has the movie from Divaldo, right? The Divaldo is someone that he put his life in the charity, but at the same way, I remember that in the movie has a spirit that only leave him because when he adopted a kid that was an incarnation of the mother of this spirit, so he was like, okay, now I will give up. I don't feel more hurt for you, but it's not everybody has some kind of bad influence as well.
I'm not sure I understood the question. Can you rephrase that to me?
Because you were spoken about obsessions, right? In my mind, everybody has some kind of obsession. I don't know if I'm wrong. I think everybody has some spirit that is someone that we did something bad in the past or justifying us in the journey.
Let me take over. Not everybody has an obsession. No, right? Everybody has a degree of sensibility. Everybody could be a type of influence from the spirits. It does not mean that it is an obsession. Right now here, we all are under influence of one spirit at least, because we are surrounded by them. We are being receiving intuitions, fluids, energy, good thoughts from them, it is a kind of influence, and it is not an obsession. So every human being has a different degree of sensibility. We know that we are all mediums with exacerbated degree of mediumship is another thing. So we all can be involved in some degree of influence. Okay, so that's the one thing. What is obsession? Obsession is one spirit or a group of spirit who want to do something because they are not happy for some particular reason that we are not going to work on that here now. But basically, it's a spirit or a group of spirit who want to have a revenge, right? Does it happen? Can it happen to everyone? Yes, it can happen to everyone because we are not perfect. We did things we are not proud of. So it can happen. When we see someone that clearly is under an influence of an obsession, after a period of analysis, of a period of events, what this person is a medium, an ostensive medium. Does not know, don't want to be, don't want to use the mediumship for that, but he or she is. Why I'm saying that? The practice showed that to us, and to have an obsession that people can perceive means that the sensibility of the person is already to a degree that allow that connection to happen. So I'm giving three different informations here. One, that we all are subject to influence. The influence can be good, can be bad, and does not configure an obsession. Because I'm here with you guys. In 10 minutes time, I may be under a bad influence, and I'll say something very nasty to all of you here. The spirit is gone. I don't even know what I say. And then I'll continue. There was one influence. It does not configure obsession. Obsession, to be configured, we need to have a syntony for a longer period, showing signs for a longer period, and only after thorough analysis. And most of the time, I would recommend not to make a call, if it is or if it's not. Ask the benefactors, then could be one of the case. And the third information I'm giving here is that people that are normally under a true obsession case, normally they are mediums. They may don't know. And the people that are trying to help them may don't know either. Okay, but they are mediums. So now, did I answer your question, Camila?
Yeah, make more sense, make a lot of sense. Thank you.
Okay. Munir, help me out, please.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, Guilherme. Just want to add that we normally tend to believe that obsession happens, all the time for everyone. That is something very common. But in fact, it's a process that requires a lot of elements actually to be, to take place. As you mentioned, yes, influence. We are all influenced by good and evil spirits all the time. But to be obsessed is something very specific, and it doesn't happen like that. And we spiritists, or most of us, tend to do with obsession what other churches do with the devil. Everything that doesn't go well is the work of the devil. So we find someone to blame, the devil. Now we find obsession as the scapegoat for our mistakes, our imbalance, our imperfections. It's very easy to say, oh, I did that because I'm, under bad influence, I'm obsessed, or, whatever. So we should be careful. Obsession doesn't happen like that. Otherwise, all the evil spirits around, obsess this guy, you obsess that one, and, you would be a chaos.
Very good example, Munir. I love that. Yeah. We create our devils. And for the spiritist, is the obsession. Because why we create those devils, so to speak? Because we are afraid of it. Because we don't understand, we don't know what to do, and we are
Yeah.
afraid of it. So we create like something that is really, don't get closer, don't study because you attract. A person is having an obsession. Okay, the benefactors will take care alone. You know, we have that barrier that does not help at all. On the other hand, hi Lolita.
Hi. I hope there isn't an echo. I'm on a different room than my husband. Sorry, I'm going to stir the pot again. Sorry about that. Is it correct to also believe, because most of the time when we think of obsession, is actually we think of us being obsessed by a spirit, disincarnated spirits. But isn't it correct to sometimes assume that we could be our own obsessors and we could also actually obsess other people that's around us?
Yes, it's totally correct, your assumption.
Could you expand that for us, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry. No, I'm thinking here the best way to approach that. Yeah, but I like it. I love the subject, by the way, because this is what spiritists should be prepared for, right? Spiritists should be prepared for help others, should be prepared to help people that eventually will present an obsession. And to do so, what we need is to be prepared. How to be prepared? Study through the mediumship practices, through the charity, and through a true understanding of what an obsession is. Not creating phantoms about like when you said, well, it is the devil. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a process. It's one of the processes that we can face in front of us. All right? So, but let me start saying that we all are spirits. Do you all agree with that? I hope by now you all agree with that.
Yep.
We all are spirits. Some of us, we are incarnated. Some of us, we are discarnated. Another thing that is very important to have in mind that the attribute of the spirits, the characteristics of the spirits are the same for the incarnated spirits, for the discarnated spirits. There is no difference at all between the incarnated and discarnated spirit. This is paramount to allow us to do anything we do on the spiritism. Okay? Now let's go into the obsession. We could have obsession from one discarnated spirit to another discarnated spirit. We can have obsession from discarnated spirits to incarnated spirits. We can have obsession from incarnated spirits to discarnated spirits. And we can have obsession from incarnated spirits to incarnated spirits. And I'm going to be giving examples here because I think examples sometimes make things easier to understand. Let me start with obsession from spirit. When I'm speaking about spirit, please understand discarnated spirits, okay? Let me start speaking about obsession from spirit to spirit. How often we see on a mediumship meeting that one spirit is trying to hurt another spirit? How often we see on a mediumship meeting that one spirit is enslaving another spirit? It happens with a certain frequency, right? So this is an obsession between spirit to spirit. Now let's speak about obsession from one spirit to an incarnated spirit. I'm having consecutive thoughts about something that's very bad, very bad. I'm thinking about hurting someone all the time. This is not me. And I may even do some actions toward this thought. This could be an obsession case. Why I'm saying could be? First, there are some physical disease, physical limitations that may lead us to have some characteristics, if are not well analyzed, could be understood as obsession and is not obsession, and vice versa. A clinic, a physician may identify something like a schizophrenia, for example, because I'm listening voices telling me to jump from the 15th floor all the time, and it's not something from the brain, it's something from the spirit, right? So now we already had two examples. One is spirit to spirit, one is spirit to incarnated. Now I'm going to give one from the incarnated spirit to the spirit. Someone I love passed away. I do not accept that. And I'm starting to sending thoughts, anger, whatever, to this spirit, kind of requiring his or her presence with me all the time. And it does hurt the spirit. This can evolve to an obsession from the incarnated to the discarnated, right? Now let's speak about obsession between incarnated to incarnated. In a work environment, I have a colleague that really annoy me all day, try to hurt me all day. It's not just for a day, it's for months, for years. It could configure a obsession from incarnated to incarnated. And now we have another one that I forgot to say in the beginning, is the auto-obsession. It's like I'm trying to target myself, sometimes even unconsciously, but I can't do that. And of course, I will blame the person that is beside me. I will blame the spiritual world. I'll blame everything else. But in the reality, myself, I'm destroying what I am, what I'm supposed to be. How can I do that? If I'm a grumpy person that complains all day, what do you think I'm doing to myself? Science recently even proved that if you're a person that complains all day, you need, I don't remember how many anymore, but I was reading the article, you need so many hours to be cleansed if you got close to that person. Imagine if you have that situation, not for hours, not for days, but for years. A person that constantly is complaining about everything and anything around it. It is an auto-obsession. And I know cases like that. We try to help cases like that. Sometimes it worked. We helped the person. Sometimes we did the best we could, and when we are doing an auto-obsession, we are not alone anymore. Because after a period of time, we start to attract spirits who wants to have fun with that situation. Spirits that perhaps they were not able to get closer to you to do some revenge, but as you're doing to yourself, they manage to get closer and then become a very complicated scenario, right? Sometimes we are able to help, sometimes we are not, because the person don't want to go away from that situation. All right? I saw that Nicole had a hand raised. Anything, Nicole?
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking of.
Me, would you like to say something? This is what you said.
Hold on. Let me go to Nicole first, please. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, that's okay. Either way. I'm kind of thinking out loud. It's a little bit of a half-baked idea, and it's 6 a.m. here in Florida, so forgive me if it's not totally coherent yet. But is there a space in Spiritism where we think of these spirits, whether they're obsessors or, irritating us, whatever degree, is there a space where we look at them with almost like gratitude? Because in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe that's what we need to evolve. Or is there just a case where some spirits are just truly evil,
Yeah, very interesting, the question. And let me answer that in two parts.
Okay.
Things that happen around us are indeed to help us to evolve, to grow, right? But not necessarily an obsession in our direction is positive. We are supposed to see always the positive side of everything. So if you do face an obsession case, try to focus on the positive. I'm being forced to develop my mediumship. I've been forced to learn some practices. I've been forced to do charity. I've been forced to get better as a human being. So that's a positive way. But we should not search such a thing, right? Because that's no. And if you go to the gospel, Jesus says, well, yeah, bad whoop to those who create harm to others, you know? And we see from time to time spirits that come to mediumship meetings saying, I'm here doing your job. And they truly believe they are doing it. And to a certain degree, they are helping. But the consequences they will have for themselves is very negative. So we don't go on that direction. All right? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Hi, Osoli. Osoli?
No. Now, I think, I must see me. So I took something to eat. Guilherme, this is example you said about the people, they upside by self, to himself, herself. These people, I think, I don't know it because I study psychology, and they need this one very good psychology to understand then it is he is a spirit better if he is a spirit psychologist, not a psychiatrist, maybe no I don't know, but people then always is a victim. Me. They need a very good psychology. I think so, but I don't know if he said that, but maybe he said that.
Let me jump on this one. An obsession case can be a simple, medium, and complex case of obsession. There are several degrees, several possibilities, right? And as a spiritist, a conscious spiritist, we'll need to consider every possibility. Depending on the degree of the obsession, we cannot work alone, period. We need to work with the physicians. We need to work with psychologists and psychiatric team, depending on the degree, right? Sometimes the person that used to go to the shrink comes and we help after they already started treatment with the shrink. Sometimes they are under prescriptions of psychiatric support and they come to us and we work together. Sometimes he helps to decrease the amount of drugs. They help them to stop using the drugs. But sometimes the opposite. Sometimes we see that the case is so intense that just the spiritism is not enough to help. So we encourage the person to seek professional support. So,
yeah, you know, Guilherme, we know at the cases of a psychologist, a spirit psychologist, or you can pray. This is a kind of, they say you have a case of a psychologist or a psychiatrist talk to patients and to the spirit. So the obsessor, because behind always when obsession, she or he can't be find Fried, he say, Fried, what say Fried in English? Pass. They they really need one psychologist, but when psychologists understand and can see then the spirit, they can he can works with together and helps together too. We know that this is possible. Can you talk about it?
Well, I don't particularly agree with the doctor speak with the spirit. I believe someone needs to know what to do in certain circumstances, right? Yes. I'm used to work with doctors.
A doctor and psychologist, yes.
Sometimes they are more doctors than spiritists when they need to be spiritists. I'm not saying that is a rule.
They need to be.
What I would recommend and what we used to do in this team that we had with doctors, with neuropediatric people, we had several types of physicians working with us. When they are in the consultation space in the hospital, in the clinic, they work and they can charge, of course, they can be paid for what they study. If they identify there is something else, that's fine. But then find a way to recommend additional assistance that you not find in the clinic. A professional that are treating clinically one person and suddenly start to speak to the spirit, I think is a bit weird. And then you are deconfiguring the support from a physician. Likewise, if I'm a medium, I'm there, and then because I see you having a physical problem, start to treat your physical problem on the same event, I don't particularly advocate that. I don't think it's correct, right? So I will give an example here. One of the doctors we used to work, she used to work with us in the spiritual treatment, and from time to time, kids, they used to go to her consultation, and she was able to identify that the problem was not medical. She used to find politely a way to recommend the family to seek some additional support. Sometimes we're even able to identify there was nothing the medicine, the hospital could offer to that particular case was a case of 100% spiritual. And she kindly said, well, there's nothing that the medicine can do here for you. But I know people that may find you some help in this and this place, right? I think this is more correct. So now let me go to Camila. You had your hand raised.
No, I was thinking about the Nicole question, right? Because a lot of times I also think about that, like why few things is allowed, right? Why the system, why God allow some kind of mean spirits go there and do mean things, right? But then I don't know if that is correct, but I start to think that it's us that allow that, because it's us that she started to vibrate like bad thoughts, or like if we improve ourselves, then it mean spirits could not reach us.
It's more than that. It's more than that. Let me start to saying that God is love. He loves us all to the point that he respects our choices. Right? Sometimes we see an infant being involved in an obsession case. He hurts us because our physical eyes can see 3 years old, 5 years old kid suffering from a truly obsession case. But what we forget very often is that it is not a kid that is there. Sometimes a very, very old spirit in the kid body, right? And as I said in the beginning, God loves us very much and he respects our choices. There is no free obsession. Let's give an obsession to you tomorrow. I never met you, I never knew you, I had no relation with you at all, never saw you in whole my existence. I'll give you an obsession today. No. There is something in the past. And possibly the bad one is you. The bad one is, if you put on a scale to measure who is real bad, perhaps the bad one is you. Today you have a nice face, you are in a nice body, you have an angelic face, but spiritually speaking, your spirit may be the one that's very heavy, right? So we should take that into account when we make some evaluation. And another thing that came to my mind is that we cannot get involved in the obsession process. Let me say that one person comes with a kid and I get so emotionally attached to that kid, I lose the reasoning. I lose the ability to evaluate. I lose the possibility to use the techniques that I have learned because I'm so deeply and emotionally involved in that case. It's the same in a hospital. Sometimes a husband cannot treat the wife. Sometimes a father cannot treat the son because he will lose the focus. He will not see the little details of the process that would be able to help. All right? So there is no free obsession. Forget about that. There's no person that can say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." No, not at all. Not at all. You choose to be in that situation through your actions, through your choices. You may not have done nothing through this incarnation, but in the past, you may have done atrocities. We all did, by the way, but you may have done something you're not proud of. And sometimes we are not fixing those past problems in a single go because it would be too much. Imagine a spirit like someone that did massive wars around the world. Think about the name you want, there are several. Imagine if every spirit who have suffered the consequences of his or her actions decide to charge on the same time. That wouldn't be fair, right? Some people would think. But that would be too much. The person would not be able to handle. So then he will handle part on this incarnation, part on the other incarnation. God knows for how long, right? But there is no free obsession. There's no thing like that. So now let me go to Cleo. Hi, Cleo.
Hi. I just have a question as well. My question is about someone who came to me and she's a mother and she has a daughter who she believes could have an obsession, but she's not sure. And she asked me how she could help her. And I said that the best way was to go to a spirit center. They'll be able to help. And even though she tried many times, her daughter refused to go to a spirit center. And on this case, she asked, what could she do to help? And that's my question, because the daughter has the free will, and the mother, I on my understanding, she could pray. So I just wonder if there is anything else that a family on this situation could do to help.
Yes, there is. If the person had come to me, she or he would be surprised with the amount of questions I would do. Because we are supposed to analyze every event before we say something, right? She believes in obsession. I don't see any indication that could be at the moment. So I would start to asking, does she drink alcohol? Does she smoke? If she does have a sexual life, how is the sexual life? Is it a normal sexual life or is completely unbalanced? Is she a serial person? Is she something? Is she a person or she or he? I don't know the kid. I don't remember anymore. What the kid like to do? Describe to me the day-to-day of this kid. What she likes, what she don't like. I think you said it's a girl or a boy. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes.
How things have started? Because normally there's always a trigger. A trigger will open the door to a process. So what happened that create that thing you see today? Oh, my parents became divorced. Oh, my girlfriend left or my boyfriend left. What was the trigger? So we need to make an evaluation of several aspects. And then after that, we can come up with some sort of indication that is or is not an obsession, right? Then, as I said here today, if you are under that degree of influence, you are almost 99% a medium, a 99% chance of being a medium. So I would ask, is he listening to voices? Does he hear some blur walking? Does he hear noises? What does it have anything like that? I would do like that. And then what I would recommend, even if I don't know anything, there are things the family, if the person does not want to do, the family can do. There is something called gospel at home that we speak from time to time, and people believe this is a religious thing, and that's a common mistake. A gospel from home, you can use the gospel, you can use a positive book, you can use the Bible, you can use a very positive reading to talk about good things. So it is not a religious thing, right? It is indeed a mechanism we can use to change the environment we have. We can use the gospel at home, as we used to call, or Jesus at home. It depends on how you want to call. It doesn't matter the name you want to give. But if you are able to establish a routine in your home where you be reading, speaking, talking about good things, making a prayer on the end, you start to change energetically your home. You start to protecting your home. And depending on the intensity of what the person or the family is having, I would recommend more than once a week, depend case by case. So if you do things like that, you are at least create a protected environment that will be your home. But that's not something to be worked by one person. Ideally, the family should be part of it. But quite often, the family don't want to participate in it because, oh, this is a religion thing. This is something I don't want to do. That's fine. If the person or one person of them or two of the family don't want to be part of it, do it by yourself. You, by your credits, you will start to change the energy of your place, right? Another thing that can be done is during the practice of the gospel at home, prepare water. Get 1 liter, 2 liters, 2 bottles of water. Put in your table when you are doing that practice, because you will not be alone. And this water will be magnetized, fluidified. And then trying to find a way to give discreetly to the person. If the person don't want to, that's fine. But the person drink waters. So eventually, give a bit of that water for the person, because this is nothing. This is crazy. If you don't want to believe, it's not my problem, it's yours. But energetically, you are changing the characteristics into a molecular level of the water. And your guardian angel, your benefactors will work with you to try to do something. So there are some actions that can be done And I would strongly recommend to have open conversations, because if it is a teenager, well, the age does not help already, right? Because we all been teenagers before. We know how grumpy we are. We don't want to listen to our father, to our mother, but we need to be open. We need to be able to have conversation with them, even if the conversation they want to have with us does not please us. But we need to bring them closer. So I would start like that, Cleo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions in regards to what I said?
No, that's very good. If I could give you just one piece of information, this is the person involved. I know her myself, and she's a very, very lovely person. But during a normal conversation, she comes sometimes with a sentence that is really bad about killing people, that is not part of the conversation, and just comes, and then she carry on the previous conversation that is very normal.
So you identified that the person possibly have some degree of mediumship, right? As I said, you haven't said that before, but you see, when we are in an obsession case, 99% of the time the person is a medium. And in that case, if the person does not want at all to go to a spiritist center, and sometimes going to a spiritist center does not mean we find the right help, because people don't know how to handle. I would say that any place that do charity, any place that do good, I don't want to go to any sort of church, any sort of place to do charity. That's fine. Don't go to any religious place. Don't go to a spiritist center. Try to pull that person to go and do charity. There is a lot of people, especially in the winter, that need help. Take that kid to a place where he or she will be able to use their hands to help the other person they don't even know who they are. Because it also creates a change in the energetic surroundings. You see, there are possibilities. There are possibilities. But you know better than anyone here in this room how to approach the person to help. So I had another hand that I missed. Liz, all yours. Liz?
Hi, Guilherme. Thank you. No, just in this case that Cleo said, it made me remember something that happened in our group here in Cardiff. And like you said, how important it is for you to maintain a distance when you were seeing kind of when you're receiving, people asking for help and things like that. Just for you to be able to see and the best of your abilities, give the advice that would be appropriate for the situation. Like we had a mother come into our group, and she was very concerned with her daughter. And we're like, oh my God, what's happening to her daughter and everything. So we said, just come to our group and then you'll be able to at least receive some help then, and let's see what we can do. We can talk more. And then as soon as we met the person and start to talk to her, we could feel and we could see more or less the dynamics. The daughter had no problem at all coming to our group, and she enjoyed, but the problem was the mother, actually. The mother was trying to control and keep the daughter under her control. So it was such a situation that kind of opened my eyes to this part. Obviously, we need to kind of maintain a certain distance, not to be too much involved in a situation and then be blinded by one opinion or the other opinion regarding ourselves, isn't it? So it kind of, this example came to my head based on Cleo's question.
Cleo, Thank you, Liz. Cleo, just a question. How old is the person? Cleo?
Is 19.
Okay, so it's not a kid, it's an adult. Okay.
No.
This could be a wake-up call, right? This could be a wake-up call. What I call a wake-up call is that when we start to develop mediumship, we start to have symptoms of mediumship, and that could be a way to get the attention of the person to the direction the person is supposed to go, right?
Okay.
And that is one thing. Sometimes the person is very resistant to anything related to what he or she will think is a religion, but will not be against the scientific information about it. So if this is something bringing the person some kind of discomfort, sometimes the person is not willing to speak about gospel, for example, but is willing to speak about techniques, how to handle, how to get better, how not to be bothered with such a thing, and then could be an avenue to change things. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's go back to the book. Oh, any question? No, that's your hands. Okay. That is why we left this chapter until last. Spiritist meetings, what time is it? Oh, we have a couple minutes. Okay. Spiritist meetings vary widely as to their characteristics and according to their goals. Thus, the intrinsic conditions will also vary. According to their nature, they may be frivolous, experimental, or instructive. Honestly, guys, the name clearly defines the type of meeting, right? Do we want to be part of a frivolous meeting? Really? I do not recommend at all. You don't know what you're doing. If you go to gatherings, for example, and that's something used to happen, and that is something that is still happen, that is people, well, let's put a Ouija, a table, a plate with letters where we will try to get words from the spirits, or people get a glass of water, things like that. And you can even buy games on some specific toy stores where people can use it. This is frivolous, and this is risky. Do not encourage people to do that. Play with fire. If you don't know how to protect yourself, you get burned. I cannot give better description. There are risks and there are consequences. So if you know someone that likes to do that kind of thing, don't get together. Or if you have the opportunity to say so, try to advise the risks of doing those activities like that. Okay? Frivolous meeting. Well, I will not start the next item. There's a lot of things here, but I'll stop here. Come on. We have now, what time is it? We have 2 minutes to the end. I will hand over the room to Rafael. Rafael, all yours.
Thank you, Guilherme. Hello, everyone. I gave myself until Saturday, this Saturday, to still say Happy New Year to everyone. So Happy New Year. As of tomorrow, I'll stop saying Happy New Year. I'm not going to stop wishing, just going to stop saying it. But anyways, Happy New Year. So as usual, we'll do our moments now to, it's a heavier closing prayers, where we try to do a moment of radiation and vibration towards the planet and the groups that are in need. So I invite all of us to take a deep breath and allow yourselves just to calm down and connect to one another. As we study about mediumship, as we understand more about our inner ability to generate energy, our ability to direct, help through our thoughts, through our words, through our intentions, through our minds, and send them out to help others, to help ourselves, as we understand that it is in the mind that everything starts. And that is the key to unlock so many things in our lives. We direct an appeal to the higher spheres in this moment, making available to them this wave of good intention and energy that we initiate from here. We ask of them to take the fluids, the energy that we are donating right now, the intentions and the positive vibrations, so that they can multiply it, unite with the blessings that are available and come from the higher spheres, from the benefactors, the workers, from Jesus, from God, and direct them towards our brothers and sisters in this planet, incarnate and discarnate, who are going through the trials, the tribulations, the tests, the painful process that awakens them to new realities, that ignites in them the learning, the understanding, that forces them to review perspectives, to focus on what matters the most. As immortal beings going through life, gathering the experiences to develop their virtues that will uplift us from those situations and send us towards progress and happiness. My Lord, so many of us going through the consequences in the form of conflicts, in the form of catastrophes. Specifically, many groups going through the challenges of extreme cold, wildfires, armed conflicts, floods, seeing everything that they have from a material perspective go away, seeing the flesh giving in, losing for this moment the loved ones. My Lord, allow them to receive from you the energy, the blessings, the vibration that will envelop them in a moment of despair, to bring them comfort, a new idea that even for a second clear their minds, allowing for the renewal that starts in our thoughts to flourish. A moment of comfort that alleviates the pain. A moment of comfort that allows them to feel your presence next to them, ensuring that things will get better, life will go on, and they have the support that they need to get through whatever challenge is in front of them. May these experiences help them to transform, help them to learn new perspectives, help them not to revolt, but to be humbled and to understand that it is through forgiveness, understanding, resilience, that they will come out of it victorious with you. May these blessings be extended to the many spirits who are also with them. May they find within it the new direction so that they can start understanding themselves better, helping the ones around them, and seeing the hopeful and brighter future that awaits. Thank you, my Lord, for helping all of us in this moment. May your blessings reach out to all of us in need. In this moment, I ask your permission to close the study and the vibration, knowing that you are always with us. So be it.
Hi, before we finish here, Camila, I'll be sending you the link for the leadership meeting that will start shortly, okay?
Okay, how long I have? Like, how long until the next meeting?
You have 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
It starts 11:45. Okay, and I wish you all a great weekend, and I wish you to see you all again next week.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye then.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.